$98 and adults for $42. Start in April and enjoy up to 5 extra months of fun. The extended year membership is April 1st, 2025 to September 30th, 2026, followed by a regular membership year. So what are you waiting for? Join us and be a Girl Scout.
Being a caregiver for a family member can be very rewarding. It can be very challenging, too. Besides taking a physical and emotional toll, it can also take a real financial toll, especially if you're paying for home safety upgrades, covering medical expenses, cutting back on hours at your job, or having to leave your job altogether. In some states and in certain situations, you may be eligible to get paid for the care you provide, but finding reliable information about caregiver compensation can be overwhelming and very time-consuming. The AARP Foundation Paid for Care Hub can help. It's a free online tool developed with support from United Healthcare, where you can search compensation programs, explore your options, and get answers to frequently asked questions. Find out today if it's possible to be compensated for the time, effort, and care you're providing. Visit paidforcare.aarpfoundation.org to learn more.
Breaking news, weather, entertainment, and sports. We have it all here. This is 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
It's time! It's time! It's Beta time!
You are watching a master at work.
Truth Nation, get ready for the greatest 60 minutes in radio, giving you his authentic and bold opinions, bringing you all the information, entertainment, and conversations you gotta hear. From local issues to trending topics and headline news, it is time for Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 1017 The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube. Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is your award-winning host, Kyle Wallace.
Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I am your host of Truth to Power, and I'm coming at you live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. You can always watch and stream us live by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. That is 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and a like. Make sure you also give us a subscribe as well so you never miss any of our award-winning 1017 The Truth shows. Also, if you want to chime in on today's conversation, remember you can always hit us up at 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talk and Text line at 833-212-1017. 1017. Shout out to Rhea holding it down for me on the ones and the twos.
What up?
And quick thought before I get going is a lot of different things. I have a pickup truck that I have, and I had to get a new battery for the pickup truck. Yeah, I'm a country boy, Rhea. And so I got a new battery for my pickup truck this morning because I barely get to start, and I got it started today, and I was like, I got to go get this new battery. So I got that figured out today, this morning before work. Then also, there was something yesterday, and Rhea was part of this as well. Rhea and Ben a little behind the curtains. They do our social media stuff. They do a phenomenal job. And yesterday I was perusing our social media, and Tony Cotton came and joined Sherwin Hughes and gave some insight yesterday. I'm sure you can find it if you go back and watch the show Truth with Sherwin Hughes from yesterday. You're able to see the interview from Tony Cotton, who was the attorney for Maxwell Anderson. And, we have a great video on social media, 1017 The Truth on Instagram. We have and on Facebook as well. There's a great video of Tony Cotton talking about the process of what goes on behind the scenes as a defense attorney and figuring out, what evidence does the state have against a client that they can try to figure out to find a defense, right? Which is all cool, not cool, but it's interesting because it gives you insight and a look into this case, which was a massive case in the city of Milwaukee. And thankfully, Sade Robinson's family was able to get justice. Now, this is the one thing I just wanted to call out Tony Cotton for. I'm sure he's a decent person, but I don't like the fact that Tony Cotton is going around talking about this case, and I don't want nobody praising Tony Cotton. Like, I don't want anybody praising Tony Cotton for the work that he does. Again, I don't know him personally, but I don't want anybody praising him for the work that he does as a defense attorney when it comes to certain cases. Now, I'm sure as a defense attorney, he defends people who are innocent. But in the case of Maxwell Anderson, he had a choice, and he decided that money was more important than morals. And that's the thing that I did not like. We posted a picture of him yesterday on social media, and I'm like, I said, Rhea can tell you. I said, what is this? I didn't like it. I didn't like it, Rhea, which, you may like it and other people may like it. I didn't like it.
That was my work, so.
Yeah. I just felt like, we shouldn't be praising somebody who made a choice to defend somebody that not only murdered somebody, but dismembered somebody's body, and we still do not know where body parts are. Like, at a certain point, you got to draw a line and say, yeah, you know what, I don't want to take this case. Everybody, because you know what? Here's one thing we always know. Because we are American citizens, everybody has the right to be assigned an attorney, a public defender. And he would have got a public defender if he did not have Tony Cotton. So that was just my little 2 cents that was on my mind from what I saw with that. Again, this is no knock at him as a person. It's just, I didn't really like the fact that we posted a photo of him. And I really, I just don't, in this case, it just feel like, I just wish he would have had to have a public defender. But, it is what it is. I have my own feelings. But again, it doesn't take anything away from him. I'm sure he's a phenomenal human being and a phenomenal person. But that career choice, I question. Or not career choice, that decision I question. But 833-212-1017. This is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. And I wanted to start off the top with asking everybody, what happened to White Lives Matter?
Y'all know what time it is. It's time for Off the Top on Truth to Power. Kyle, let Truth Nation know what you got to get off your chest today.
I meant to say what happened to all lives matter, not white lives matter, but as Rhea said in my ear, it's all the same. It's all the same nonsense. But yes, y'all, what happened to all lives matter? See, I be having stories, and Rhea know because I be sending her stuff. I be having stuff I want to talk about, but I had to push stuff down because I see certain stuff that triggers me, that gets me upset. And I'm easily triggered. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. The older I get, the more easily I am triggered, But I was triggered by something yesterday, and what triggered me yesterday and this morning as well is that there's been some stuff going on social media that includes the Queen, the greatest gymnast of all time and one of the greatest athletes of all time, most decorated Olympian that we will ever see in our lifetime probably, in Simone Biles. Simone Biles is in a little bit of a Twitter spat, a Twitter beef, or whatever you want to call it, a dispute. Now here's a little bit of a background of what the foundation and what led to this Twitter dispute that she had. Now, in Minnesota, they had a state championship softball tournament like you see in many different states, right? Wisconsin has their softball state championship, and we have state championships for all different sports. Now, in this Minnesota state championship, there was a young trans girl who pitched in this state championship game. Now, I saw this story. I think I saw it last Thursday or Friday. I saw the story, and I cringed just a little bit. It didn't sit right with me, right? Like, I saw the story, I cringed a little bit. I admit that. I cringed a little bit because we've talked about this before, and this isn't the main focal point because we've discussed this over and over. Because I did not think it was fair that this trans girl got a chance to pitch against, biological girls, right? And I've stated before that we have to find a fair solution that's fair for everybody. Like, that's what we need to figure out. We need to find out a solution that fits for everyone involved. And to me, I think that's the mature stance and mature approach about it, is trying to find a mature adult approach, because trans people are going to exist now and are going to exist forever. And we need to make sure we make it fair and equal for everybody, including born girls, right? That's the mature adult response. But then enter chat this person named Riley Gaines. Don't know who she was, but she rose to her little 15 minutes of fame by preying on trans athletes to get popular. See, now after this state championship game, there was a tweet out of, Minnesota state champion. They were celebrating. And these are high school kids, okay? So when I say high school kids, these are kids who are high schoolers, right? Some may be 17, 18, 16, 14, 15, whatever it is, but these are high school students. And high school students celebrating the championship, most people should just say congratulations to them or let it be, because kids should be off limits, right? Kids are protected. We ain't messing with kids. That's what we told by people. But Riley Gaines, a grown woman, decided that she was going to tweet out, this is what you should expect when boys are playing. And so, again, bringing negativity towards kids. Again, there's no line that can't be crossed anymore when we see people are being negative towards kids. If you want to be negative towards adults in the NCAA who are trans, who are swimming, then fine. That's adults. But you cannot be negative towards children. And that, for me, was a problem. And then also Simone Biles responded to that by calling her a bully. And it started off this storm of back and forth, not even back and forth, a little bit of a back and forth. But it started off a storm of tweets of some people who were supporting Gaines and many people who were anti-Simone Biles, attacking Simone Biles, and many people being homophobic, many people being transphobic, and many people just being downright racist. And see why I felt the need to use my platform today to say something about this, because Simone was getting so much hate and so much visceral and racism towards her. I didn't feel like it was right. And for an example, I want y'all to understand that there are certain conservative white individuals that will take something like this and utilize it to disparage black people any way they can. So I want y'all to listen up. If you go on YouTube, go to 1017 The Truth on YouTube so you can watch this video. Or if you're in your radio, you can listen up. But I want y'all to listen to this joke of a podcast or whatever the heck he calls it. I don't know. Have no idea. But I want y'all to listen to this video. This is somebody's response to Simone Biles telling somebody not to bully high school students, telling an adult to basically leave the kids out of it. This is the response that Simone Biles got for not just supporting transgender people. It's not about that. It was about Simone Biles supporting kids and protecting kids. But this is the response you get when you protect kids from certain people.
Trans team, but too afraid to enter the arena, which isn't a surprise. Obviously, this woman is not a very reliable teammate, as we've seen. Olympic gymnast Simone Biles is a very gifted athlete, and she's also a bad person. This is not the first time that we've seen those two qualities combined in a person. LeBron James, another example, plenty of examples. But Simone Biles is an especially egregious case. The last time we heard from her, she was celebrating the first all-black podium at the Paris Olympics last year. After black gymnasts took home the gold, silver, and bronze, Simone bragged about the fact that it was a podium without any white people. So that was enough to tell us that, if we didn't already know, that she's a leftist clown. And 3 years before that, she infamously quit on her team in the middle of the Tokyo Olympics, citing her need to work on her mental health. And that was enough to tell us that she's a coward. Finally, this week, she put it all together, mixing her cowardice with her leftism and sprinkling a little bit of a mean girl nastiness on top. Simone posted the following on X. Quote,
and so as you can see here, this gentleman set this up by talking about Simone Biles being a coward, talked about LeBron James, talked about just this negativity, talked about the fact that Simone Biles celebrated the fact that there was an all-black podium in the Olympics, that the fact that she could look at this podium and can see all-black representation up there. See, this is the type of hate that we have, and so this is why I felt like it is necessary for me to speak up, because it's bigger than transgender athletes. It's bigger than protecting women. It's about diminishing African Americans. It's about diminishing people that go against what they believe in. And that, to me, is the main problem. That, to me, is what I cannot sit with. That, to me, is a complete issue. Simone Biles told this girl to stop being a bully, and now this man and other people on social media are attacking Simone Biles' character, calling her a coward. The girl was going through mental health issues and had the twisties. She is a premier athlete who does gymnastics. If you don't know what the twisties is, that means when you're going in the air and you're performing a stunt or performing a flip, you lose where you're at. And if you can't land, you can break your neck or injure yourself. But no, she's a coward according to this jerk of a, or some things I want to say, according to this foolish individual here. And that is sowed in hate. And that's what I want y'all to understand, is a lot of this that people are doing is because they want to rise their own fame. They want to have their own popularity. So they find things to attach on. So when I have this conversation today, talking about this Riley Gaines individual, a person who preys on transgender kids in order to get fame, this is what I'm talking about. And what upsets me most about this, Truth Nation, 833-212-1017, or you can watch and stream us live on YouTube, 1017 The Truth on YouTube. What makes me so mad about this, I'm more mad at Simone Biles. I'm more mad at Simone Biles because she is a distinguished woman who has earned everything that she has gotten. I mean, everything she has gotten. And a woman like herself should never give such an irrelevant and low-character person like Riley Gaines the time of day. She should never do that. See, Riley Gaines uses divisive language and divisive things like in issues like trans women in sports to push her own personal desire for popularity and fame. See, that is exactly what she wanted. She wanted for somebody like Simone Biles to react. When Simone Biles reacted, she said, I just hit the jackpot, because now she has people talking about her. Her claim to fame, this Riley Gaines girl, comes from having to compete against a transgender man in a swimming meet, even though she finished a distant 7th place. Riley Gaines is in this for the spotlight. And she's a fake individual. She's not, this isn't real to her. She's trying to utilize this situation to get fame. She was a nobody who used hate and xenophobia to get into the spotlight. She got her 15 seconds of fame. Instead of targeting high school athletic associations for allowing a transgender girl to play, because this transgender girl, she didn't make the decision. They allowed her to play. So instead of attacking the adults that allowed this to happen, this fool-ass woman decided she wanted to attack high schoolers, kids, students. That's where my issue is that she personally attacked a high school student and a high school team. Someone who had to go back to school on Monday after being attacked by a grown person. Someone that had to go take trigonometry, English class, had to go take U.S. history, science class with other teenagers, had to go back to school after being demeaned and diminished by a grown-ass woman. And honestly, y'all, I expect that type of behavior at this point coming from people like her, right? Because she is an indecent human being. And there's many other indecent human beings like Riley Gaines who came to fame after losing in a swimming meet. Riley Gaines, like many other staunch Republicans, have zero enduring qualities about themselves. Not a single damn one. She acts like she came in 2nd place when she came in 7th place. The woman who came in 7th place is complaining. Nobody remembers you, girl. Nobody remembers who the hell comes in 7th place. You weren't good enough. You weren't good enough as a swimmer, and you aren't good enough as a human being. And you're looking for excuses why you came in 7th place, but the bottom line is you just were not good enough. And this is exactly why she decided to blame her 7th place finish on a transgender woman. She didn't worry about the 6 other women or 5 other women that were in front of her. No. She was mad because she had to swim against a trans woman. Again, I'm not saying I agree with it. What I'm saying is that she's utilizing this for fame, not to actually solve the damn problem. She used hate as a way to advance her own self-interest. She tore down, demeaned, and bashed high schoolers. Kids, y'all. For her own self-interest. And I'm mad at Simone Biles for buying into it. But again, I'm not surprised by any of this because this is what conservatives do. They have no limits on how low they will go. And Riley Gaines is a prime example of the lack of integrity that many white conservatives and conservatives across this country have. So to Riley Gaines and those who support her, and you're truly the worst people of our society. You're the bottom of the barrel. When it comes to decency, you are the bottom of the barrel because of being a real decent human being with morals. You showed your ass and the evil person that you truly are by criticizing high schoolers, by taking on high schoolers, by tweeting negativity about high schoolers, by being a straight-up bully and jerk to high schoolers. I hope you're very proud of yourself because you use a predatory behavior to prey on high schoolers in order for your own personal gain, in order to get fame. Let that sink in. This grown-ass woman in her 20s is picking on, taking shots, and making fun of high school students. Conservatives are the biggest damn crybabies and snowflakes out there, and it ain't even close. It's not even close, Truth Nation. They're all hypocrites, and they act like they care about protecting kids, but in the same vein, you saw somebody tear down kids, and instead of attacking the girl that tore down high school students, y'all attack Simone Biles. We should not forget that because that's a lesson we need to keep in our minds, who they really care about. And for Riley Gaines, you are a despicable human being, but also very predictable. Because conservative women like yourself love to play the victim. Oh, y'all love to play the victim. As a black boy who grew up going to a white school district from Milwaukee but went to a white school district, you know they love to play the victim. You know what we used to call them, Rhea? You went to a diverse school. They used to call them white girl tears. As soon as those white girl tears got flowing, everybody dropped everything they had to tend to that girl's needs, and that is exactly what Riley Gaines is taking advantage of now. You weren't good enough at swimming, and now you're showing you suck at life as well. So I hope Riley Gaines enjoys her little limelight off the coattails of hate and off the coattails of trying to start a beef with the most decorated gymnast in the world in Simone Biles. Matter of fact, Riley, you should be thanking Simone Biles for giving you the time of day that you do not deserve. She helped make you relevant for just a few more days. So I hope you go back to enjoying your miserable, pathetic life. And I'm sure it's a fake marriage that you have. I'm sure we'll hear some stuff in the future about how you got some divorce or how something was happening. But Simone, you need to be better. Don't subject yourself to this woman. Don't ever subject yourself, Queen, to anyone who preys on transgender girls in order to get fame. Simone, you're better than that. Much better than that. Because Riley Gaines is a sick, disgusting human being. 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talk to text line. That's 833-212-1017. I just had to get that off my chest because it bothered me a lot. It bothered me a lot having to see Simone Biles get dragged like this. It is not about trans athletes at this point. It's about protecting children. Simone Biles was protecting children. But what we have seen over the last couple days is that a lot of y'all people don't care about protecting children. Y'all don't care. If it doesn't fit your vision of what life should be, or it doesn't fit your principles or your policies that you like or the morals you live on, you don't care about protecting children. And that is shameful, disgraceful behavior. So this is why I had to bring this to the light, because somebody like Riley Gaines, who preys on trans children for attention, needs to be called out for that sick behavior. Leave the kids out of it. 833-212-1017. That's the Truth Talk to text line. If you have anything to say, you can go ahead and chime in at the Talk and text line at 833-212-1017. You can also watch and stream us live on YouTube, 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe as well. When we come back on the other side, I want to have a conversation talking about the fact that I need to praise the city and some folks in the state who are actually working to help curb some of the reckless things going on in our community. So keep it locked. We'll talk about that and so much more on the other side. This is Truth to Power on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
More of Truth to Power is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Truth Nation, please join us for the 54th annual Juneteenth celebration in Milwaukee on Thursday, June 19th. The Truth will be broadcasting live from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., so don't miss out on your chance to celebrate with us with our live Juneteenth broadcast presented by Hope Christian Schools and Carroll University. 1017 The Truth celebration of Juneteenth is also brought to you by American Family Insurance, Associated Bank, Gruber Law Offices, Molson Coors, and Educators Credit Union.
Why did Old National Bank decide to create this program?
You know, it was something that was near and dear to the heart of our chairman and CEO, Jim Bryant. Jim wanted us to do more in the African American communities, more with minority-owned businesses. So he approached Roland Shelton, who was my boss in Evansville, Indiana, and said, Roland, we need to do more. We need to create a program that's going to allow individuals, minority-owned businesses, women-owned businesses to access capital a lot better than traditionally we've been doing. And so we created the Empowerment Loan Program 2 years ago.
And for those that are now leaning more into this conversation, what's the best way to get in contact with you as part of their interest in the Empowerment Loan Program?
I'm going to give you my cell phone number to the listeners. It's 414-687-7393. And if that doesn't work, feel free to reach me at my email, tracy.meeks@oldnational.com.
Tracy Meeks, Senior Vice President, Community Lending Market Executive from Old National Bank.
Need to look your best for a special occasion? You need
the $100 hookup.
This incredible deal includes a marvelous suit, shirt, and tie, all for $100. Only at Nick Cavani's, home of the
$100 hookup.
And that isn't limited to some standard stock suit. You'll be pleased by the top quality and variety of fashion offered at Nick Cavani's. No matter the occasion, maybe you're just ready for a fresh, new, stylish look. Get hooked up today at Nick Cavani's in Mayfair Mall and at nickcavanis.com.
What's poppin', Truth Nation? It's your girl Noni Juice for my friends at Steinhoffels. And nothing beats a great night's sleep on a beauty rest from Steinhoffels. Right now, you'll get a free foundation when you buy a Beauty Rest Black or World Class mattress. Queen mattresses start at just $30 per month when you use Steinhoffels' 60-month financing. And with Steinhoffels' 110% price guarantee, 120-night sleep guarantee, and free delivery, you can't make a mistake. Don't overpay for a good night's sleep. Shop in-store or online at Steinhoffels.com.
Make your home safer. Get rid of unused household chemicals at MMSD Home Hazmat Drop-Off. It's free to visit a collection center. Get all the info you need at MMSD.com. Milwaukee County residents only, no businesses.
Milwaukee has been living the high life since 1904. Miller High Life, the champagne of beers. Miller High Life and Beer Capital Distributing are proud to sponsor the Milwaukee Juneteenth celebration. 2025 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Celebrate responsibly.
This is Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
You a bad, get your to stand up, bend over, stop being lame, ho, show something. Bounce that.
It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I am your host of Truth to Power, Kyle Wallace, and on the other side, we're just having a conversation talking about the hate that Simone Biles got for simply trying to protect high school students. And for me, again, it's not about the identity of the girl. It is about the fact that at a certain point, we have to draw a line on who we allow to be criticized. Because what we have to understand is there is a reality in this world that we are dealing with mental health. Like, as those who are listening who are baby boomers who didn't have the opportunity to truly address your mental health and are struggling with it, I feel your pain at some point. Gen X who kept working through it, moving through it, and to millennials who are trying to grasp with the mental health challenges that we face, we have to understand when it comes to Gen Z and Generation Alpha, these young kids grew up in a time where mental health was openly discussed. There wasn't this big bugaboo or there wasn't anything that was taboo topic when it came to mental health. And so what we have to understand is that mental health is something that is real. And the last thing I would ever want And the last thing anybody who is listening should ever want is for a young high school student who identifies a certain way and based off the rules of the high school association that they are a part of, allows them to play. That is not her fault. She is just playing by the rules. If you disagree with the rules, take it up with the adults in the room. Don't take it up with the kids. Because when you take it up with the kids and you're already dealing with kids that already feel so much hate, there are so many kids who aren't transgender, who don't feel love, who don't feel accepted, and consider dying by suicide. So we need to be thinking, having that in mind when we're trying to throw this hate on a high school student who accomplished something, even though we may want to say that we disagree with it, fine, but don't direct your hate towards the girls. Don't direct your hate towards the team. Direct your displeasure with the organization, not with the student. Because if that student was to take their life, then what? Then what? Bullying has caused kids across this country to take their lives. Matter of fact, there was just a bill that was passed by the Trump administration that, or about like revenge porn, or maybe revenge porn was before this, but like having images up, because that's agonizing. That's agonizing to have to deal with. So why would we be okay with an adult attacking a child? 833-212-1017. Al, you're on award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Well, first thing I want to say, let's not use mental hate for grown people, bull, sugar, honey, iced tea. We got to call it like we see it. These self-sucking peasants who was raised by their mammy and pappy, see, they have that caveman mentality, because their mammy and pappy was never good for sugar, honey, iced tea, and you can count on their integrity to be more powerful than a dead dog, sugar, honey, iced tea. But we have to push back against hate. See, the reason why a lot of these people hate, because they mammy and pappy had put a lot of baggage on their shoulders, because they was denied diversity. That's why they think like a caveman, because they know when they walk, talk, and fart and urinate, they come from a product of no good donkey, sugar, honey, iced tea. So let's not take mental health and say it's mental health when we know it's grown people, bull, sugar, honey, iced tea. If they want to bring it, we're going to choke it with their reality of it, because their hate ain't with their kids. They're with the kids. Their hate is from their grandmammy and their grandpappy who was created in a cave, who did not have the right to live.
All right.
That's the real issue. Have a good day.
You too. I appreciate you sharing your thoughts. I do. But 833-212-1017. I'm going to transition over. We're going to take a break. We're going to transition over. But I just felt like I needed to address that, because I don't want people thinking that this has anything to do with trans athletes, or this has everything to do with protecting high school kids. Everybody has every single right to their opinion on how they feel about the issue. But we need to draw the line when we're talking about high school students being talked about negatively. If you have an issue, bring it up with the Minnesota Athletic Association. Don't bring it up with no damn 17-year-old. Don't do that. 833-212-1017. I see the call from Smiley, but again, on the other side, we're going to address the traffic cameras that they're going to be putting inside of Milwaukee, potentially to curb the reckless driving. I want to hear from you all. We're going to talk about that on the other side, because we need to curb reckless driving in Milwaukee. And Mayor Cavalier Johnson and State Senator Dora Drake, I want to praise them for their efforts to continue to fight to clean up the streets and clean up driving in the city. I'll tell you exactly what they plan to do on the other side. Keep it locked. You're listening to Truth to Power right here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
For over 50 years, Cousin Subs has celebrated and embraced the traditions of their home state of Wisconsin. And now, Cousins will be honoring a Wisconsin tradition like no other with their Pull Tab giveaway promo. Now through July 6th, while supplies last, guests will receive a Cousins Pull Tab with a sub or subinable purchase for a chance to win Cousins Subs for a year and much more. For additional info and official rules, visit cousinsubs.com/pulltabs. One pull tab per customer per transaction per day. To receive a pull tab with no purchase necessary, necessary. See official rules.
Hey there, did you hear? There are still spots open for Girl Scout Summer Camp 2025.
Whether you're into water activities, arts and crafts, sports and games, exploring nature, or even horseback riding, there's a camp just for you.
Choose from GSY's day camps, overnight camps, community day camps, or Camp Hero.
Bring a friend and get ready for a summer full of adventure, friendship, and leadership.
Register today and let's make this the best summer ever, Girl Scout style.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
Truth Nation, let us talk our ish for a moment. There is no other station in the country where you get a front row seat to hear from some of the biggest names in politics, pop culture, and sports. People like Grammy Award winner John Legend.
Knowing that fight isn't over, knowing that we've got to stay motivated and stay inspired. Glory was the song that myself and Common wrote. Two brothers from the Midwest, from Chicago and from Springfield, Ohio.
Oscar Award winning actor Don Cheadle.
I know that we're the bright, shiny thing that sometimes gets the attention, but I would say don't listen to celebrities. You don't have to listen to us. Listen to yourself.
And President Donald Trump's son, Don Jr.
When did we have a strong economy? And I don't think anyone with a straight face can say right now. And the reality, when you look at it, it's not even voting for my father. Look at the team that's now surrounding him.
Tap into the award-winning and nationally recognized 1017 The Truth by downloading the Truth app and streaming us live at 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Milwaukee Black Talk.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snide. A tough one for the Milwaukee Brewers on Monday night. They fall to the Braves by a final score of 7-1 in Game 1 of their 3-game series. The loss dropping the Brewers to an overall record of 35-32. The Crew now losers of 3 of their last 4 games after the game manager Pat Murphy on the Braves.
I don't know anything about their record. I just know that you look at their lineup 1 through whatever, they're pretty good. As good as you're going to find with Sale on the mound for sure.
Game 2 is set for this evening. That first pitch is set for 6:40. And lastly, we'll head over to the NFL where the Green Bay Packers are back in action this week. They'll kick off mandatory minicamp beginning today, which will wrap up on Thursday. This sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
It is Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Gotta find my joint up on this. I miss you. 2 times. Yeah.
One call, that's all with Gruber Law Office. If you or a loved one is ever injured in an accident, do not hesitate to make one call, that's all, to Gruber Law Office, and they will truly take up to you. What I loved about the Truth Nation is the fact that when I made that call, they took care of everything. They took the burden off my shoulders. They focused on getting the money that I deserve for my vehicle. They also focused on making sure all the pain and suffering I went through, that I was paid for that as well. So if you want to get with a winning law firm, you got to get with Gruber Law Office. There ain't nobody else. Don't call nobody else but Gruber Law Offices. All you got to do is make one call, that's all, and they'll take care of you. Call them at 414-276-6666. That's 414-276-6666. And remember, you never pay a single penny until they win your case. It's one call, that's all, with Gruber Law Offices. It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, and I want to transition over to talking about how we can curb reckless driving here in the city of Milwaukee, because this is something that we have talked about extensively, not just on my show, but on many shows over the last 5 years that we've almost had to truth, right? And so this is an issue that we need to find a solution to, and I feel like the city has tried many different things, but right now it feels like there's a shift in momentum in the right direction. So here's an article from CBS 58 in a news story talking about the plans the city has to curb reckless driving here in the city of Milwaukee. We're working on it here, so as we work on it, we'll give Jimmy a thumbs up when it's all good to go. But basically what the city's looking to do is they're looking to have an automatic traffic enforcement program, which is proven to reduce crashes and proven to reduce injuries, and it's also proven to reduce fatalities on the roadways. And here's a CBS 58 article give you more details about this.
Much in health news this morning, a new study indicates that pregnant surgeons are more likely to have major pregnancy complications than non-surgeons. Here to tell us all about that and more is UW Health ear, nose, and throat surgeon.
It looks like the story, it probably played and went to the next one, but I'll take care of it from here. And so basically what we're looking to do in the city of Milwaukee, and shout out to start out to State Senator Dora Drake and shout out to Mayor Cavalier Johnson on their efforts and work. But here in Milwaukee, we have an issue with reckless driving, and they're trying to find funds for the state to be able to help curb this reckless driving. And one of the things they're trying to do is they're trying to have automated traffic enforcement. And so what that basically is like speeding cameras, red light cameras, something to, be able to track folks who are speeding and something to track folks who are driving illegally, right? Driving recklessly. If you're driving 15 miles over or more, you are reckless driving, and is able to capture your license plate. And they're looking to get about 3 to 5 cameras per aldermanic district here in Milwaukee. And the reason why I think this is a great step in the right direction, because we have to find some solution to this problem. Because when we think about it, we have a crisis in the city when it comes to reckless driving, and we have to find a solution. We have to find a solution, right? Like, we continue to have these conversations year after year after year. And again, I give credit for having ideas, because we got to have some type of ideas to find a solution. I don't have the perfect answer. I do not, but I appreciate those who are in power continuing trying to find ways to implement ideas that actually work, because we have to find a sustainable solution and a sustainable way to punish those who are driving recklessly and causing harm to others. See, years ago, I don't know if y'all recall, the MPD, they were doing police dummy cars. So I remember driving down Capitol, driving down Fond du Lac, and regardless of what speed I was going, if I saw one of those police dummy cars, I pressed on my brake. A lot of us did that, right? Driving down Good Hope, you pressed on your brake because you saw a police car, and nobody wants to get a ticket because there's a monetary cost that comes with that. And then in 2023, they tried to take it another step further, where they implemented an ordinance which would allow for the police to tow reckless driving vehicles. See, MPD had the power to tow unregistered vehicles of reckless drivers, and police stats actually show that they towed about 595 vehicles from May of 2022 to February 11th of this year. For me, that's not enough, because based off the number of actual reckless drivers that we have, we need to be towing a lot more of these vehicles. We need to start writing a lot more tickets of reckless drivers. We need to make this an initiative in order to curb reckless driving, because it's causing lives and it's causing danger. It is. It's causing too much danger in our city. And from 2021 to 2024, there were only 2,140 reckless driving tickets that are written. There's 365 days in a year. I ain't a mathematician, but I know 3 times 4 is 1,200. So you multiply that by 2, you at 2,400. So they're writing less than 1 reckless driving ticket per day over the from 2021 to 2024 in 4 years? Ain't no way. Ain't no way they're really putting in an effort to curb reckless driving when you're only writing 2 tickets per day over the last 2 years. Less than that. That's very, 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 very low. 833-212-1017. Smiley, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. What are your comments here on the traffic cameras?
Okay. I had 2 comments, but it's really one was not a comment. It was just something on a note to help out, on a mental note. But before I want to talk about that traffic thing. I seen it earlier today. I'm originally from Chicago, but the work and the job that I do for Milwaukee, that's not going to resolve no issues. It ain't going to do nothing but cause give out tickets or give out money to people. And that's it. It's not going to actually, I had to control my background. It would not control what's going on. What's going to control this reckless driving, because what I experienced of my daughter going through a reckless car accident from the police chasing another person was a broken arm and two spots. Police or the armed person didn't have insurance, and the city refused to pay for it. However, that's called reckless when no one want to take responsibility for the things they do on any note. And this is just recently to know that you want to get traffic cameras. That's not going to do nothing. That's not a physical person. Get some drones. Throw them drones up there and get the people that you're looking for that's going to help out slowing down that reckless driving. And those who out here, I mean, instead of the officers sitting around in the back cutting, doing what they doing, I know they got to serve and protect, but they got to start using the basic 3 C's right now to help where they're not afraid to come out to the community to give out more than 2 traffic tickets for reckless driving. Because the job I do, once again, I don't want to talk about what I do because I don't want to put myself out there.
Don't worry about it. You don't got to do about that. Keep preaching.
But it will, like, literally, it's other ways that I can give them, because what we do is control the traffic anyway. It will help if they actually go to the people who really cares about what the city can really do and what they can do to help the reckless driving on all notes, from even damaged vehicles, the roads being messed up, all this stuff. But if they really want somebody that care about the city, I went to the mayor about this before, and I got looked over, and now you want to come up with some tickets, camera things. And guess what? They got cameras already. Only thing it is, they're not taking pictures. They're just letting you know, hey, it's an accident over there.
Yeah.
Hey, it's an accident over there. It's not going to resolve any issue as far as the slowing down the reckless, dangerous driving that these people out here doing.
Smiley,
Yeah.
I appreciate you sharing your story. I want to say, I'm so sad to hear the story about the police chase that led to your innocent daughter getting injured in a car crash. And so I'm thinking about you and your family, and I'm sure that was a trying time. But I appreciate you taking the time to share your truth and share your story with Truth Nation, because that's real. That is 100% real.
Right, but then also I need to just say something, because it's about the mental health of our youth. Because like I said, the job I do, this is real. And when I tell you to see people in these transgenders that go through their process, to talk to a young man and young people, period, the young man that I pray for, and the young man that I seen, when I finally seen him again, and I asked him where he's been, he said, I jumped off the bridge because I was not accepted on May 19th, and I couldn't do nothing but cry and embrace this baby. And he said, and I said, where your mom at? And he said to me, my mom would not accept me. So I'm just saying to anybody who's listening to y'all station, because I listen to y'all when I'm not at work, but I also, I just pray that someone understands that these young youth, regardless if it's an athlete or not, these babies, mental health is real. Regardless, it is real, and it needs to be not made a joke of, but to look at it as, see, okay, let's learn how to pray for one another. We got to create that surrounding of peace for our youth, regardless of what choice and decisions they have made. And I'm calling out to all transgenders, even the adults. Come on, y'all call these kids y'all babies. Grab y'all babies. Show them how to be mature enough to handle stress like y'all did. Then to go through a process of feeling down because of this situation. So I understand, not because I've been through it, but I feel the pain to see a young man who wanted to end his life just because he's not being accepted. And it's not fair to these babies.
It is not.
So
Smiley,
I'm just saying.
I appreciate you. I really do. I don't want to cut you off, but I appreciate you. And what you said was very touching, because of the fact that it's real. And, I'm getting older now. I get more sentimental. But when you're talking about a teenager who thought about jumping off a bridge or attempted to jump off a bridge, y'all, that's real. Like, that's real. Do you really think your feelings or your opinions and your thoughts on somebody's identity is worth somebody taking their life? because that's the reality of it. Y'all think it's all, fun and games and think, this matters most until somebody's impacted in a negative way where somebody's son, somebody's daughter, somebody's cousin, somebody's nephew, somebody's uncle, somebody's family member, somebody's boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is, a loved one, takes their own life because those around them, society does not accept them. 833-212-1017. Martin, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth here. I'm sorry, I'll have about 60 seconds here for you.
Hey, what's up, my brother? How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Thank you for calling in.
I look at it like this. How the reckless gonna stop the reckless, okay? And what I mean by that is the police recklessly kill us. They recklessly speed through our community, doing warp speed, just like the reckless. But see, it cause reckless scenarios and things by chasing people. You ain't got to chase nobody down like that. What they doing, it ain't killing the community like that. You know what I'm saying? No high-risk black fellas running through here robbing banks, robbing everybody. It ain't like that, okay? These people is racist, and they don't care about us. They don't care if we die. We fought against the red light cameras years ago. We don't want no red light cameras because that's infringing on our rights because they could watch you all through the city now. They even got cameras on the buses. That's been the eyes of the city.
They do, Martin.
You know what I'm saying? So I want to say what's up. Huh?
I said they do. I gotta get to the next caller. I'm so sorry. I'm tight on time here, Martin, but I appreciate you sharing your thoughts. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. 833-212-1017. Again, I always appreciate the conversation, and we'll end here with Miss Lana Banana. How you doing? You're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. What are your thoughts on any conversation we've had today?
Hello, how you doing, Kyle? I'll make it quick. How you doing?
Yes, ma'am. I'm doing blessed.
Good. Yeah, about the I like how the previous caller before me, he had said something about the cameras, being everywhere and it can track you everywhere. Isn't that like an invasion of privacy?
I'm sure because it's public cameras and it's traffic cameras that provides information for like traffic updates that we have here in many different places. That's what it's for.
Okay, and then one more comment right quick. My ex-best friend has twins, and one of them, they're girls, and one of them are transforming into being a male. And she needs to, instead of raising that one to be a coward, she need to teach her how to him to stand up, because she had told him to, if someone ever makes fun of him, just come home. No, if someone makes fun of you, you talk to whoever is in charge, and that person needs to talk to that person to change it, because when you run away from things, you enable them to continue that attitude.
No.
That's what I want to say.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Speaking up for yourself, I definitely believe in advocating for yourself. On the other side, we will wrap up Truth to Power as always. Make sure y'all watch and stream us live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Just so I know, Homer Blow will be joining me. The legendary Homer Blow will be joining me here tomorrow in studio. But on the other side, I'm going to finish with my final powerful thoughts right here on Truth to Power. Keep it locked.
You are listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app. Catch Truth to Power every weekday from noon to 1 p.m.
Truth Nation, this is the legendary Homer Blow, hoping you and your family will join me at the 31st annual Homer Blow birthday party for the kids on Saturday, June 28th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Fitzsimmons Boys and Girls Club at 3400 West North Avenue in Milwaukee. The celebration is for children 2 to 13 years old. Admission is absolutely free. For more information on being a sponsor for this great event, call 414-248-4954 or email the Homer Blow Foundation at gmail.com. And don't forget, we'll have Kool-Aid, the red kind.
It's 1017 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. When it's time to upgrade your windows and doors, wouldn't you like to work with the best? But maybe you're thinking in these volatile times, I don't want to spend a fortune. Well, Pella, the best in the industry, has a product line for every budget, and right now you can get no interest and no payments for up to 2 years. And if the plan is to wait, guess what? You can get it now and wait to start making payments up to 2 years. Pella truly believes that quality windows and doors don't have to be expensive. With a range of affordable options and products assembled in the U.S., you can get the look you want at a price you can afford. And with Pella's free in-home consultation, no obligation quote, and range of available financing, getting new windows and doors from Pella is easier than you think. Certain restrictions apply. Ends June 30th of 2025. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Need to look your best for a special occasion? You need
the $100 hookup.
This incredible deal includes a marvelous suit, shirt, and tie, all for $100. Only at Nick Cavani's, home of the
$100 hookup.
And that isn't limited to some standard stock suit. You'll be pleased by the top quality and variety of fashion offered at Nick Cavani's. No matter the occasion, maybe you're just ready for a fresh, new stylish look. Get hooked up today at Nick Cavani's in Mayfair Mall and at nickcavanis.com.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Make your home safer. Get rid of unused household chemicals at MMSD Home Hazmat Drop-Off. It's free to visit a collection center. Get all the info you need at MMSD.com. Milwaukee County residents only, no businesses.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
Call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
You are listening to Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
1, 2, 3, ho!
It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I am your host of Truth to Power, Kyle Wallace. You can always watch and stream us live on YouTube, 1017 The Truth on YouTube. And shout out to y'all on YouTube. I love the community conversation and dialogue that y'all have. But I want to finish out today's show talking about the fact that I heard what y'all saying. Reckless driving is a problem here, and police do drive recklessly through in our communities, and I understand the mistrust that we have, but at the end of the day, we have to do something. Since 2012, the average yearly traffic deaths in Milwaukee have increased by 86%. Traffic deaths have increased by 86%. We have entirely too many people running red lights as they go. Or we have people who are at the red light thinking it's like a stop sign. People driving at excessive speeds, people driving with reckless abandon, and people endangering others. And we have to find a way. And again, there may not be a perfect solution, and I know none of us want to be hit more in our pocketbooks, but we have to figure out to get these culprits and hold these culprits accountable for the reckless driving that they're doing, because they're causing harm to our community. We cannot continue to allow that. We cannot continue to allow for people to continue to drive recklessly. Now, I am not for locking up people. I don't want to lock people up whatsoever, but I feel like being able to track license plates allows for you to hold people accountable. If they didn't pay their ticket and they ain't pay their ticket in the amount of time and they get pulled over again for reckless driving, then maybe you got to do something. Maybe they do got to be behind bars, because you know what? I'd rather sacrifice somebody driving recklessly and endangering others in order to make sure the greater good is safer. This has been Truth to Power on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. The Tory Lowe Show is up next. Peace out. I will see y'all tomorrow.
Summerfest is back, and the award-winning 1017 The Truth has got you covered with free tickets, Truth Nation, to the world's largest